You don't want me to play around, huh?
No.
We are live.
We're live there, Mark. We see you. All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. It's myself, Landon, here. We have Andreas Felsl, founder, CEO of Horage. And today we have a very special show. We're going to be going into the details of Supersede, as well as the K2 movement, and talking a little bit about the pre-order. So Andi has already given away a little bit of a teaser there at the start of the show. We wanted to show those watches a little bit later on, but because this is live, you know, it's live. It doesn't get any more real than this.
We just see that there's some delay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to see myself here.
You're ready here, Andi.
Okay, I need to.
Yeah.
I see that. Okay.
All right.
We are still practicing, huh?
Yeah. So yeah. So tomorrow is the day that we go live with the pre-order. It's starting tomorrow at 2:00 in the afternoon in Central European time, and of course on our official Horage website you can find out all the Supersede details there as well. You'll find the products live in the shop at that time. We will be online and ready to answer any of your questions in the chat, and of course you can send us an email as well at lostintime@horage.com. And until then, we're going to be showing today this live show where we'll give you the first glimpse of the Supersede watch, and then tomorrow at noon, that's 12 o'clock CET, we will also be going live again and showing more of the watch and details there for you. So yeah, that's I mean, today we also wanted to talk a little bit about the pre-order process, why we're doing 4 pre-order rounds. We have the 4 pre-order rounds because we are a smaller company that is able to do a lot of very unique things, bring people along for the journey in our product development, whereas a lot of other brands may purchase items from a supplier, whereas we are able to develop that stuff in our own building here with the help of our engineering team and our watchmakers, and be able to create completely new movements, watches, and also different functional items like the new micro adjustment class that we recently launched. Actually, was yesterday. We put it up on our forum and as well on social media. So that is sort of the reason why we have those 4 pre-order rounds. And during that entire process, and in the watches that we show you today, there is still development that happens. There's always going to be some fine tuning. There will also be little details that we see with our eyes that we just want to fine tune and get just right, because it is still
it's very important. It's prototyping.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why we take time. Things don't happen from one day to another. And we got the first parts today to put it completely together. Yeah. Actually, after more than since 2016, we started actually with the K2 movement, and then we started to actually start to think about the watch. And the last 1.5 years, I would say, was watch centric for Supersede. Design phase, and now we got the first samples which we put together, and yeah, and I think that's pretty much the gateway to trying to solve a lot of problems down the road. And at the end of the day, we want to ship a well-performing product, so we have to build it several times. So if you see some things or if there's flaws somewhere, that's the nature of making a new product.
Yeah, and as a transparent watchmaker, that's what we enjoy doing and telling people about these things, because what we're doing is extremely difficult. And yeah, we know that today the prototypes we'll show you, there are some things that need to be ironed out, but it's better for us to show you something than to not show anything. So we'll have this first pre-order round starting this week, 72 hours. That's 3 days. Anytime within those 3 days, you can place your order, and then we'll be doing a second pre-order round starting in March. By that time, we'll have more details ironed out. We'll have final sort of press samples by that time, and then we'll have a third one later next year, and then the fourth one around this time next year as well.
So getting into shipping,
and we start getting into shipping at that time.
December 2022. pretty much.
Yeah. And so we're going to have 2 options at checkout. We've had a few people in our forum. If you haven't joined our forum before, you'll find it on our website under community and projects, and you can join in there. You can also comment. You can see all the updates. Typically, I make 1 or 2 updates a week on this project, as well as our Tourbillon project that we have going on right now. So when you do go into the store tomorrow, you'll see that there'll be 2 checkout options. There'll be a full price and a half price option. Yeah, so that enables you to pay half now and another half later on. And we'll also have the rubber straps that we're going to show you today in there, as well as the option of choosing between a brushed and a polished center link. Yeah.
Don't rush. We are live, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's exciting stuff.
I mean, I have 3 cameras here, a lot of light, and 4 screens in front of me. I wish you guys could see that, but we try our best to comply with COVID times. I mean, the things are getting live. We are getting into video mode, and it's pretty good, but it needs some practice, and that's why we do that every day.
Yeah. So as Andy said, we'll be doing that every day, and tomorrow will be one. We'll also do one on Wednesday and Thursday, and we'll have some different things planned for those different shows. So, Andy, where do you want to go now?
I would like to show stuff, of course, but what I also want to say again is that the people who participate in supporting us through this kind of pre-order mode, it's not a waiting list. People invest into our capabilities of doing that, and we use that money in order to pay all our people here and get especially more young people into the world of watch engineering. It's not just watchmaking. So I think we really try to cultivate high level of engineering and high performance watchmaking. That's what we want to do, because we think it's cool that more people join that. And we are funded by ourselves. Our company is owned by ourselves. There's no large investment group or whatever involved. And I think we are pretty taking good care of the funds we receive from people, and shipped always in the past. So we always delivered on what we promised, and we will do this again. Let's talk a little bit about that watch, which I have here. I mean, you see it already. I will switch between some cameras, so you will see different positions of the product. So where should I start?
Yeah, I mean, we already sort of let the cat out of the bag. We have to. Let's go to that top view, Andy.
Let's go to the top view and then take away some stuff.
Yeah.
So we have a look at the top of that product from that point of view. So what you see here, I mean, that's the first product we put together just 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I just posted some things on Instagram. You check out our story.
It was rushing.
It was a mad rush. 2 watchmakers working on 2 different things and jumping around. It was.
Do we see the comments here?
Yeah, we have some comments coming.
Okay, so that you watch the comments and I show around a little bit. The GMT. It's a 12-hour GMT, which shows actually at home. The place where you are, you don't need to know if it's day or night. You can look out of the window, you can see that. So obviously what you want to have when you travel away, you will see pretty much how, if it's night or day at home. That's why you need to have this 24 and 12 indication. And then obviously the hands are now not correct. One of them should be blasted and they should be reversed, but you can see there are 3 hands. And basically the regular hands with the Superluminova are the ones which should show the time where we are right now, and the other one is traveling hand, which then gives you an indication where you are. The date is a regular date, but it's a very big date because the movement is a 30mm platform. I can move that in here, so you can see that. Oh, that's now from the back. The rotor is missing right now because I just took some from the guys from the so you see it here. Nothing is faked here. Everything works. It is really it turns. So we are in the next couple of months. We need to test movements continuously, destroy a lot of movements. Probably 100 movements we will destroy during the testing process, in order. It's already ongoing. I mean, we had already shown movements with a small segment, and that's the work for the coming weeks and months. So you can see the Côte de Geneva stripes here. Let me lift this a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can see that here.
So maybe let's go back over to the dial side, Andy, and we can talk about some details there. So as far as yeah.
Should I bring in some more dials or?
No, I think we're okay. Good there right now.
Yeah, this power reserve indicator on top. Yeah, you see that. Then the indexes, which are filled with superluminova. There's a little frame around the date window, and and as people see, we are writing BLBN on our dials.
That's where we are.
That's where we are, and we thought that's what we should write because that's pretty much our hometown and the center of watchmaking. So I think the camera is pretty good, which we bought here.
Yeah, it's working out well.
So things look, for a sample, I would say, pretty good already.
Just go right back a little bit, up a bit, Andy. There we are. Yeah. So yeah, as Andy said, we have power reserve, we have calendar, we have the 3 hands or 4 hands for the most part, local hand, GMT, and we have the minutes hand, and we also have the day-night indicator as well, which is cloned to the.
Is this a real GMT then?
I believe so.
I believe so.
There's always a debate on what everybody
there's a big arguments going on what's a real GMT, but that should be considered
and it's a GMT. Yeah, and it's and the bezel as well.
And we have a timing bezel. Yeah. I mean, I can do that a little bit. So turn it around.
So it might be a little bit close there. Camera. Sorry, it's a little bright with the.
That's okay.
You might want to turn that light off up here.
Yeah,
there you go. Move it down there, Andy. There we go. You know, learning by doing, yeah?
People want to hear it. I heard it in the last meeting. They want to hear how it clicks. Yeah, it clicks pretty well. It's crisp.
And it's a 120 click bezel. So. So we have just a couple of questions. I'm just reading up here in the chat. We have asking what the incentive is for a buyer to be part of the first pre-order, unknowns in development. Yeah, that's correct. So we have 4,500 Swiss francs starting price. Then it'll go to 4,900 Swiss francs in the second round, and then it'll go up to 55 and then 59 in the fourth. And so we have the 4 pre-order rounds. And the incentive is to support the project earlier, and anybody who does get on board and back at the earlier stage will also get the additional strap. Yeah, so you can get a rubber strap if you pay for the full price, and then also we are developing this new micro adjustment clasp, which we'll add later on. We still haven't decided on the final rotor material, and so it looks like it's probably going to be a precious metal. And that will be an automatic upgrade as well. So there's not going to be any additional cost after that. So that's the reason why we have the 4 pre-order rounds and the incentive for jumping in a little bit earlier.
Yeah, what the people see in YouTube probably that they saw them. We're working on that, and the ones who really start jumping, they save money, they get additional stuff, and they are preferred treated. So it's worth probably doing that. And considering the overall price, I think we should be okay.
Yeah, and somebody also asked how many days will the pre-order last. I mentioned it just at the beginning of the show. This will obviously replay even afterwards, but it'll be 72 hours, so that's 3 days. So anytime within those 3 days, you can place an order.
When it comes to risk, I mean, someone asked about the risk if we can deliver. Probably we should show the people what we are known for also. If I do that, you're covering my, and then you're covering my thing here.
There we are.
Yeah, for example, this, that's what we basically are known for. We have, people know that we ship K1, we developed this in the past 12 years. We have recently developed the tourbillon during the pandemic, shipped it with a little bit of a hiccup, and we are continuing to shipping right now and get into the next stage. So I think we are pretty clear on what is our mission, and we typically can fulfill. We don't promise stuff which we can't really estimate. Everything we do in there in that movement is very well known to us. We know how much time we need to de-risk it. So typically movements need to be built 3 times in order to make it work very well, and we are getting into that mode. So
yeah, I just had a good question come up. Somebody asked, I think it's Alpina Chef, is the caliber completely built by your team, or is it based on a known caliber from another market? So
completely built by ourselves. Wait, let me bring also some more parts here. So that's pretty much. Why is it completely built by ourselves? It's also because these are parts here. All the stuff you see in there, you will not find in other movements, and you also will not find that type of architecture. We have our own gear profiles. We have our own architecture. We call this semi-sandwich type of architecture. So we are, for changing the modules, we actually change the whole base plate and not just stick something on top. That's very different. Most of the others do it different, but that's how we designed it because it makes a better movement, makes it smaller and slimmer. So yes, we share a lot of parts from our former designs. Yeah. So these parts in the K2, you will also find in parts of the K1. You will find it especially in the K tourbillon. In the tourbillon movement we have made, because that's what we try to do. We're trying to standardize the parts we can standardize, like hand setting mechanism. But basically all that stuff is developed completely from scratch by ourselves.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we talked a little bit about the movement here. We have a few other questions in here. Somebody asked, Richard asked, is the bezel bi-rotating? No, it's unidirectional, so it's a timing bezel, much like on a dive watch per se. And what else do we have here for questions? Let's see here. I'm just reading up here, guys. Sorry, I'm going to keep talking, trying to talk and read at the same time. It's
not so easy.
Quick one that just came up here. Will COSC be an option? Chronometer certification through COSC actually is just standard with the movement. So that every single watch that comes in will get COSC certified and will come with an official certificate. That certificate actually matches the exact movement number that you get. And so that's something that's very special. And we had that as an option with our tourbillon before, but this is just going to be completely included in the price of the watch for our COSC certification. What else do we have here? Andy, do you have, what are you putting on the table?
I'm putting some stuff on the table. That's one of the bridges.
So Andy's just setting up a few of the bridges here for K2. And we will, after we go through a few more movement items, we'll go right back to the watch again. I noticed that some people want to see hands overlapping. They want to see side angle of the case as well. So we'll show that here very shortly. So another question, somebody had mentioned the batch of the order timeline. It actually starts tomorrow. Okay, it starts tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central European time in the afternoon, so 1400. And yeah, they'll be live on our website then, and you can join in. And yeah, and the pre-order will be open for 3 days. So anybody in that 3 days that places an order will obviously get a watch. What is the main purpose of a silicone escapement, Andy?
More runtime. So basically, traditional escapements are Ruby based, and yeah, some 40 years ago, 1968, when plastics came into our life, the escapement shape changed. And by changing the escapement shape, by this new technology, at this time it was high performance plastics, the escapements changed in their performance. And now we have silicon. We can do similar shapes like that was possible like 40 years ago. And we put this in silicon, and the silicon is very durable. You have very few lubrication. You need only a very few lubrication compared to others, and it's much more lightweight. So when the escapement is going back and forth like that, it's much less weight which you need to move, and that's where you get more increased power reserve, because you don't spend so much energy to move the escapement itself. And that's why this watch has movement will have around 72 hours power reserve. And that's a pretty remarkable thing, I would say. That's, for example, the spring, and I have some escapements here. Wait. Where did I put them? Oh, here.
Yeah, you got a few there. So we have some silicone escapement. What do we have here? We have anchors.
Anchors.
Yeah. And he's going to get those out and show those to you as well. So it's a little bit, you might want to take that up a bit, Andy. So this is a silicone wafer.
Yeah.
And he's showing right now.
It's a silicone wafer. There you see the broken out ones. You see different shapes also. So can I make that bigger? Yeah, here. Now you see it. Yeah. So the straight ones are actually the ones which we use in the tourbillon. They have no arm to the rear, no fork, and these are the regular ones. This wafer has several different versions. For us, it's kind of a test wafer. You see my camera here. Do I need the light? Oh, perhaps. So you see it. That's the stuff where chips are made from. Computer chips, sensors, every sensor, everything. It's a superior material. There's no question about that. It's the best material you can use for escapements, and I think we have looked into that thing for a long time. When did we start that? Which one? What do you see now? Right here. Not so easy here.
Yeah. Okay.
Need to practice more.
So Michael is in here. He's asking what is the expected service interval for the K2 movement, and would only your watchmakers be able to service? Thanks.
Any good watchmaker will be able to service our products, because we try to avoid specific tools. We try to avoid tricky things to assemble. Things need to be, our designs are industrial level. It's high performance watchmaking at industrial scale. We don't make that volume, but we design in a way that you could do it in a larger volume, because this also means that it's easy to handle, easy to position the parts, easy to clean them, easy to warehouse them, easy to handle them. And automatically, because of that, a good trained watchmaker will be able to service these movements all over the world. And as you see, we are living in times of the internet. We have video support. So if there's watchmakers who never did something like this, we can come together in a video stream and have the people get stuff done.
Yeah, for any of our newer projects, somebody has asked us, in the comments, have we shipped a tourbillon yet? Actually, we've shipped quite a few tourbillons. We're producing in different batches, and it's based on basically when the orders are placed. What's unique about our company, again, is that we're making these movements. We're not buying movements from somebody else and assembling them here. We actually engineer and we do all of those projects here under our own roof. And so with each of these projects,
we will do a walkthrough tomorrow. Huh?
Yeah, we're going to do a walkthrough tomorrow. So today, just because of the time, we need to show more details of the watch, talk about the movement. Tomorrow, we'll actually speak with Jonas, who is the head of engineering here, and he will actually be able to go into more detail about the engineering process, and we'll be able to show you where we work, how we work, and to iron out some of those details. Another one here, let's go back to the next question here. Is a tungsten rotor better than gold? If so, why? We've got the rotor right there. Yeah, so this is good timing.
I didn't know that.
And so this is a gold-plated tungsten rotor. Yeah, and basically tungsten is a very dense metal, and so it has heavy stuff. And so it's ideal. You need to have heavy stuff in that movement to rewind the mainspring, and that's what gives you that power reserve. So basically, What Jonas has calculated is that 1 hour on the wrist of wearing is equal to 10 hours of power
Winding.
reserve generation.
And we can only do that because we have this high-performing escapement technology, which consumes much less energy, which means the mainspring, which was a typical drawback from micro rotors in the past, that the escapement was not so efficient. That's why the winding performance typically was very poor. But with new performance escapements and lighter materials in the escapement, we can make a longer, softer mainspring, and that means it is more easy to wind, and that's why you can have this long power reserve. And I mean, weight is always necessary. Putting so much weight as necessary into that small place, not so easy. That's the problem. But it's a beautiful thing. You see, it's actually assembled on a bearing here with 2 screws, so can be easily also disassembled and taken apart. And you fit it in as one unit, fix it with a screw, and that's it.
Andy, we have this question here. It's about the minute hand jump that was noticed on the caliber 400.
Oris.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an Oris engineer, but it's first of all, great respect from everybody who's trying to make a movement. Number one. Number two, it's mechanicals. It's new, and this means we know that there is some hiccups probably somewhere. I mean, just to be fair, they will for sure iron that out. Perhaps where it exactly comes from, I don't know. I think it's the hand setting mechanism, some frictional issues in the hands friction compared to how the gears have been laid out. I mean, you don't die because of that, but it's not, it probably shouldn't happen. And we will also see certain play. There is play. I mean, 2 gears interact with each other, and there is play, and you can find that. And the target is to reduce it as much as possible whenever you can.
Tolerance game, yeah?
It's a tolerance game, yeah, of course. I mean, it's a lot of wheels, and if it's too tight, you lose too much energy. If it's too loose, and things are shaking around, so you need to try to shoot in between, and that's the job, yeah. Of course, when something like this happens, I don't wish that any company, because it's unfortunate and it can be an expensive exercise to exchange all of these things. That's why we do pre-order. We ask the people to get on the journey with us, participate in really making something new. And in this way, we can have close communication and keep the people updated about everything.
Yeah, and on that note, Gaston, he asked a question here. So if we were part of the first pre-order round, would we receive an inferior watch as opposed to pre-order in the last round?
No. Same inferior. It's really bad watch. Don't buy it. It's
a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Everybody will get the same thing. We just reward the ones who help us more early to onboard more engineers, do things faster, with a better deal, with some additional stuff, and reward them. It's kind of a crowdfunding.
Yeah,
I mean, we are known for we actually came out of crowdfunding, kind of, and it worked very well for us. And the people, I think, had a lot of fun doing that with us.
Yeah, the camera's down here, not up on this screen.
The camera is oh shit, sorry.
No, it's all right.
It's okay. There, this
camera, yeah. We're looking at that screen over there.
Too many screens here. Come on. Let's get some watches back.
Let's get back to the watches.
Let's get some watches back.
So
where should we move on?
Yeah, put the Supersede watch back up there with the finished version, and we'll get to that.
You tell me what I need to do.
Yeah, we'll do this one. All right, so we'll go back here, zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, zooming out a little bit.
And here we have, Supersede. So
turn around though.
Actually, somebody was asking, what's the bezel made out of? And the entire case construction along with the bracelet is all 904L stainless steel. And Andy, can you fix the focus there?
Good old steel,
Good old steel, yeah.
Good.
And again, it's not again, I haven't even mentioned it yet, but the appliques, the indices are filled with Swiss Superluminova. We haven't tried dark shot yet with the camera system.
You need a remote control for all these lights.
Yeah, we'll try it tonight and we'll try to do it tomorrow, but this thing glows like crazy. And I'll try to.
It's deep filled. I mean, it's really deep. It's a lot of superluminova put into these indexes.
Yeah.
And
so
shoot a different perspective.
Yeah, see the case side profile. And literally just this afternoon, we had the watchmakers, Jonas and Laurent, build this up very, very quickly. And so Andy's already been able to get his fingerprints all over it. It's remarkable, but it's looking quite good.
It's very nice. So you see that side cut here.
Yeah. Can you place it on your wrist, Andy?
Yeah. I have a different shot for that.
Yeah. Let's move to the wrist shot here. See how that's looking. Yeah. So we actually haven't even had the time to put the bracelet on this version of it yet, but
you can get a good idea of
the size there. And the case is 39.5 millimeters. It's 9.85 millimeters thick.
You can see I have actually an empty one that you can see. Where's the strap?
Go back this way a bit here.
Coming.
There you go, Andy.
So that's empty. Yeah. That's a nice dial.
But you can see there with the polished center links, we have this set up with a polished center link on it.
And you see it wears super slim. I mean, it is a serious watch. It's really, I'm surprised by myself. Mm-hmm. You know, usually you see things in the computer and then you get the single parts and then you complain about this and that and small things, but when you put it together as one thing and you put it on the wrist, then I say it's the solution for a lot of people's problems, waiting lists. That waiting list problem. You know, I mean, you can put yourself on a waiting list and wait for ages or never you get a watch, the ones, you know, which everybody wants to have. You can get that much sooner. Yeah. Yeah. So
can we look at some dial colors?
Yeah.
We've shown the white one here.
Want to show strap? Continue that?
No, we could continue with the straps too, since we're there.
Right. Let's switch the camera here. There's so much good stuff. I mean, this here. Okay, so we want to continue with the strap. So
I'm going to see if we have any other comments here.
Yeah, we shouldn't miss the people's questions. So,
what is the width of the buckle? So at the buckle, the bracelet is 16 millimeters.
16. Yeah, 16. Yeah. But that's not the buckle which we will use. I mean, that's some kind of OEM standard stuff which we used in order to get the first sample, because we still need to adapt our buckle. But you can see the differences here.
So you can see the brushing along the top there.
Yeah. It's a little bit brighter.
Yeah, a little bit bright. Let me turn that down a bit. Yeah. There you can see the brushing a bit better there, like that.
Yeah.
So we have somebody asking again, what lume are we using? It's a Swiss Superluminova, and it's
best quality.
I believe it's the BGW9, and
ask my wife.
We need to ask, but it is. We use a mix of X1 and grade A, and the reason why we have to use two different luminesces is because X1 is used on the hands, and grade A is used on the indices.
You know a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We mix it because you can't use X1 on everything, otherwise things will be inconsistent when they glow. So you need to use two different grades to get the right even glowing. Yeah. So what else we got here? So Andy, we have
brush and
so
polish.
Can we bring back in a watch and show the hands again?
Yeah.
We had somebody asking about the hands. Is there a difference between ours hand and GMT hand?
Yes.
And
now actually one of the hands is just above the other hand.
Yep.
So the GMT hand should be the bottom, the lowest hand, and then the hour hand is actually the middle hand, and the minute hand is the top hand, and the final top hand is the second hand, obviously. And I need to look into this camera. Why do I see my here? Okay. And there's a failure in that because it's a sample. The GMT hand should be matte finished. Actually, when you're at home, it hides under your regular hour hand because naturally you are not traveling. And when you are traveling, then you can actually adjust that hand, move it out so that you can read the time where you are and you know what time is it at home. That's the basic idea behind this setup. We designed the movement in a way that we can also change these things, reverse that, also the way you set the date. But that's not yet ready for discussion, and we are working on that. But basically, I think it's as you can see now, the hand's coming out. Should that be okay?
Yeah. So that's good. And the hands on the dial, will the extra time hand be a different color? Thought it might be orange.
Yeah, that's a big discussion here. I mean, we have pretty much several months' time to find a conclusion on that. I would say the tastes differ totally. Some people say they don't want to have too much color on that thing. It should be reduced. Some people say they want to have it more colorful, more visible. It will be an ongoing discussion over the next couple of months, I guess. And as I said, I mean, no matter if you order or not, you can adjust certain things and choose stuff, and we can come to a conclusion over the time. And that's what the whole project is also about, that we get a firm feedback from the majority of the people who we ask on certain things, and then we do that.
Yeah. Okay. So we were just talking about the bracelet, and somebody brought up a good question because it's a continuing development with the bracelet, and it has to do with, will the bracelet have screw links, and that also we should talk about the Torx screws.
Torx screws, yeah. So you see the screw here is not completely inserted. It's a first sample, of course. We just didn't completely fix that yet. But there will be a Torx screw. You will get bits so that you can exchange easily. Much more easy than a slotted screw.
So that's confirmed now.
I want that.
Yeah, because somebody was asking it. People always, is it, switch between a rubber strap and a bracelet.
Yeah, there will be bits, and the nature of the Torx is that it's more easy to guide. You don't.
You can't mess up the.
Yeah, you don't mess up with a slotted one. Not everybody is so familiar, but with a Torx screw, you can just put it in and then open and close it. So changing the strap shouldn't be a big issue. On the side, as you see, there's still protective stuff on it. We'll take that off. On the side, we decided to go for.
Somebody's saying, none of this helps me decide which dial they want. We'll get to the dials here soon.
These are pressed together.
Yeah.
We decided to go for the ones which you don't change is press fit together, because otherwise if you have too many screws, it looks a little bit awkward. And these ones are the push-through pins with this indent in the middle. We have the best experience with this, and it works very well, and we should continue using that. And then there will be some fine adjustment also on the buckle, but I cannot talk about the buckle because it's not ours. So
yeah.
You see, very slim, super nice.
Yeah.
Goes very nice into that.
Oh, don't go up too high there. Maybe move the camera up a bit. I think. Yeah, that's good there. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the rubber straps too while we're here.
Rubber straps, yeah. It's coming out.
Yeah, just leave that in and grab that one there.
Rubber strap.
So
stuffy on the table.
Yeah.
So we're going in here. Oh, wait.
Yeah, so and with the bracelet, somebody just asked if we're offering polished or brushed. You have both options at pre-order as well, so you'll be able to select which one you like and go from there. So yeah, there'll be the option of both brushed and polished.
That's 3D printed.
Yep.
Currently, I mean that's the first samples we have. So we are having some venting, concave backside. We have a security lock for that little. How do you call that in English? It's kind of
Oh, yeah, the keepers.
Yeah, the keepers. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And we have this our own pin bucket.
Yeah.
We will make it slightly smaller here because we found from the first sample that it's probably a little bit too thick. Yeah, and that's where, I mean, of course, when you do 3D print, but it's surprising that you can get such a good product already out of a 3D printer, to be honest. I mean, it's rather stuff. And we will go from there, and yeah, there will be an ongoing discussion about color there too, I guess. So I don't worry about the amount of discussions.
Yeah, so we're very transparent, as you can tell, and things that are still in prototype mode and things that are pretty ironed out or aren't ironed out. And one of the questions in here, somebody's worried about getting more of a prototype as opposed to more of a refined watch at the 4th pre-order. It's we need this year to finish out these developments, and we're just being
It's
transparent.
natural process. I mean, at the end of the day, you can say you roughly have to build a watch or a movement or anything 3 times. That's the first time. The first, the 0 was digital. Then the first one is this. So we get the first stuff. Now we go into small refinements. We are very happy overall already with what we get. And I think we have already very good feedback from the people here. And now it's the second round doing refinements, doing small stuff. And during this process, we will finally get to our pre-series, and then we will launch a product where we can say that's how we want it, and that's a product which can be sold and given to the people, and they will be happy.
Yeah, and for anybody who's new to us, it's a little bit of a different process, but we've just recently gone through this with the Tourbillon. And we went from CGI, from animation, to working with a supplier, then not working with a supplier, then having to develop everything ourselves in here at our company. So, and yeah, in the end, the response was unbelievable. And people who have received their watches already have been just really excited.
I think it's also interesting. I mean, it's not just buying a watch here. It's also our mission kind of is to make what we do visible, to allow people to be part of that product creation process. And I think that's very important because many people don't know anymore how stuff is being made. And we want to show these challenges and these all the difficult things which need to be decided, and how difficult it is to decide, and show that to the people. That's yeah, I think it's part of the whole story. It's part of the whole product to make it come to life and let people participate in the ups and downs.
Yeah,
and there will be downs, no question.
But we've always delivered.
We've always delivered.
Always delivered.
Yeah, it's also good for the team, I think. You know, the team here, when they get exposed to the client, most companies don't do that. But it's good for us. They are motivated and they take extra care then. You know, it's not just putting something here, sell it to somewhere and then it's gone. No, that's not how it works in our place here.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get over to the dial colors now. Okay. We need to show some dial colors. We showed the white one already, and so we have that there.
Switch here.
Let's see. Move that over there, Andy, a little bit more. Yeah. And we'll bring in some other dial colors here.
Inferior product.
Yeah, so yeah, as Andy had mentioned, this is a first round of prototypes here. So we actually have the first round of the dials as well. And there are some slight changes that may or may not be able to be seen here on the camera today. But we have white all the way on the left. That's a 12 o'clock white. Then we have is that black up there on the top?
Black,
yeah. Yeah, we have the 2400 black.
I will lift it a little bit.
Yeah.
You see much better. You see also the quality of the uplix is very good. So really nice, very precise diamond cut here. Printing is very good. Can I get closer?
You might want to go back a bit, Andy. Yeah. So, yeah. There we go.
Getting there.
Yeah.
So, pretty nice, I would say. Huh? So that's a black one. There's a green one in here. I do that also from a different angle. What's the name?
This is the boreal green.
Boreal green.
Yeah.
Good.
And then we have which one are you bringing up now?
Blue.
All right, we have the transatlantic blue, which is up next.
Very nice. White and blue, my favorite.
Yeah, and apologies for the dust
And
specks.
dust.
We're not in a dustless environment.
Where's my dust thing?
But
Oh, okay. Best tool of the watchmaker. This rubber thing here. That guy. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's this gray.
Yeah, and this is a jet stream gray. And the jet stream gray here on the camera, it's a little bit darker than what it will be actually in production. So it'll be just slightly a little bit lighter. We're going to go to a fourth prototype.
There's also
that. No. Yeah. So
and we'll probably look at it from a different angle also. Then you see also the colors in a different way. Green here. Oh.
Yeah. That looks really good.
I'm practicing.
So I'm just going to go back through a couple of the questions here. Jeffrey was asking the 0 to 15 bezel section looks painted black. Will it not be brushed stainless? It is stainless. It's just the lighting.
Yeah.
The way the light's hitting it in here right now, it's difficult with all these different lights. So we'll move it around a little bit, and hopefully you can see
which
in this section here. Yeah, he was saying that it looks like it's. We'll bring that back, and you can see that it's highly polished in there. Yeah, it looks black, but it's just the way the light is hitting it there. That's just highly reflective. Okay. Okay. So let's bring back some colors there, Andy.
Yeah.
So there we have the jet stream, we have the transatlantic blue, we have the boreal green, we have the black, and the atoll blue is, as I mentioned in our forum on the website, it's actually a color that we're bringing to the next round. We do have something similar here, but it needs to be a little bit brighter in the final version. So we'll be showing that one a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, John, and I hope that answers your question there, because we are, can you show the current atoll blue one? That one there? We can show that one. It's just a bit too dark at this point. Autofocus is not working on it.
No.
There it is. So yeah, so this is one that isn't, we're not quite happy with the color turnout just yet, so it's going to go back, or it is actually back, and it's already being revised. We actually have some updates coming with it.
We get colors that was unique, and we're not happy with that.
Somebody asked why BN on the dial and not Swiss made?
Because we are Biel.
Because we are in Biel, and Biel is the epicenter of the Swiss watchmaking industry. So just a kilometer down the road that way, we have Rolex. Another kilometer that way, we have Omega Swatch Group. There's a lot of other great watchmakers. Armin Strom is just down the road. We work very closely with them, and Formex as well as in town. So we are in a true watchmaking area, and our approach is more about local sourcing, I guess you could say. We're sourcing and working with partners within a 45-kilometer radius of our facility here in Biel. And so there's actually in Supersede, in the actual movement, there's only the silicone components that come out of Germany, and then the rest of the parts in that movement, the entirety, are all made either directly in town here or within 45 kilometers from our facility. So it is well beyond Swiss made. Swiss made means 60% Swiss part count and value, and we're, with just a few of those components, three of them now for K2 coming from Germany, we're over that 98% Swiss made. So that's the reason why we actually have Swiss made on the back of the watch, on the movement, and then we also have Switzerland, which is also a protected mark, which is also on the case back.
I mean, we are proud to be here at the end of the day. How to say, why did we decide for BLBN? There was a big discussion about some brands just putting Swiss made on it, and they don't do any engineering, they don't do any manufacturing, they don't do any assembly, have a contract guy doing that, send it probably even to COSC, and that's what I think we needed, something which distinguishes ourselves a little bit from the regular Swiss made discussion. And BLBN, people don't know Geneva, not many know BLBN and Grenchen, but that's definitely the place where most of the high performance industrial watchmaking in the world happens today. And we thought it's a good place, it's a good thing to write on our dials because it's true.
Yep, that's where we are.
Yeah, nice dials. I need to look in that camera.
Yeah, you got to look into this camera.
Okay.
So
yeah, what's our timing now here?
Yeah, we're getting close to an hour here.
Yeah.
So we're going to be wrapping it up here pretty quick. Yeah, we're 51 minutes into this thing. Can't believe you guys hung around with us for so long.
That's good. We need to practice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been really great having everybody join in. Tomorrow we're going to go live again, tomorrow at noon, so 12 o'clock Central European time. And then, yeah, you'll be able to ask any questions that we were unable to answer for you today. We'll be talking with Jonas, who is our head of engineering here at Horage, and he is going to share a little bit more on the K2 movement and development. We'll also take you for a tour through our facility, see how the engineers are working, the watchmakers, and give you a live perspective of how we're making watches here in BLBN. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it.
Good. Then we are over and out, or how do you say?
Yeah, we're over and out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again to everybody. We'll follow up with any other questions in the comments after as well. You can always reach us. You can email us at lostintime@horage.com or hit us up in the chat on our website. And of course, join in our forum because that is where I'm posting and Andy's posting new updates all the time on our development journey. Thank you so much for joining today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Final one here.
Oh, final shot here.
Final one.
Oh, we're going to the computer monitor now.
Oh.
Yeah, great.
Not bad.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
And who is shutting off that now?
I'm not sure if Mark is around here, but hopefully Mark is our mastermind behind the scenes that's helping us stay live.